Good morning everybody, and welcome to day number 2 of my deadman mode flipping adventure. Now yesterday we started from pretty well nothing, simply just the 10,000 GP we had from the stronghold of security. And through a combination of flipping early game resource items, I was able to grow a cash stack from 10,000 all the way up to 550,000 in around 3 or 4 hours on the first day. Now at the end of the day I decided I was going to swap that to old school currency, and we ended up swapping it for a profit of 68 mil. Now I had a lot of fun doing that, and there was a fair bit of support, so I decided we'll do another day of flipping in deadman mode. So at around noon of the next day, I ended up swapping money back from old school to deadman, and I bought back in at the exact amount of cash we ended with yesterday. Now the exchange rates dropped drastically in 24 hours. Yesterday when I sold the gold, it was like 1 to 100. Today it was closer to 1 to 30 or 1 to 40. So I sold 550k deadman for 68 mil old school yesterday, and when I bought back into the same amount, it only cost me 27 mil, so I still have banked 40 mil in profit, and we're pretty much exactly where we left off. So let's see what we can get done today. Now overnight I've come to realize something pretty important, and maybe a bit of a mistake I made early, and that was not leveling up my account enough to gain access to a higher total combat level world. Now there's one main reason for that, and that is I don't have the ability to flip any of these starting relics. Now because everybody gets those relics to begin with and you can reclaim another one when you die, they are by far the most traded relic, which means unfortunately I missed out on quite a good opportunity to flip one of the highest volume and profitable items in the game. Considering it would not have taken me that long to just level up my account a bit, if I were to do this all over again, I would try to log on right as deadman mode starts and just try to rush up some combat levels just so I have access to those sigils and the higher combat level worlds. Not to mention that the exchange rates were actually more favorable in the higher combat worlds than the lower ones, because it was harder to get there and there was no way to trade a lower combat level world if you'd already surpassed it. Now that said, I'm still going to try to flip the sigils. There's still a lot of money to be made there. I just have to determine what are going to be the most popular and high volume sigils and then try to find the margin somehow. Now I've been kind of just warming up, doing some resource items and some in-market items like the rune scimitar. We're doing law runes, manta rays, and we're already up to around 100k profit on the day. Now I have been trying quite a few different relics, price checking them, losing a bit of money. Now one thing I've come to realize is fairly obvious, but by far the most popular relics are combat related relics or other utility ones that help with combat. The purely skilling ones, they just don't matter that much. Experience rates are pretty quick already, and unless you have a very specific account build you're trying to do to make some money, most players are just going to skill the bare minimum because fundamentally deadman mode is a combat tournament. So with that line of reasoning, that simplifies things quite a bit. Probably half of the sigils I'm just not even going to bother trying, and I'm going to focus purely on the combat ones and maybe a few other useful utility relics. Now while I can't flip the tier 2 starter relics, I can flip the tier 1 equivalents, which are trying right now on the sigil of deft strikes. There are 3 of them once again, sigil of rigorous ranger and the sigil of meticulous mage, which I might try as well, but I imagine these 3 are going to be popular. Okay, so only a few minutes later and we have made our first successful trade on a sigil, 20k on the sigil of deft strikes. I'm gonna go back for another 2 of those. Alright, well this next flip isn't a sigil, but still pretty damn good. We ended up flipping around 120 stamina potions for a 400 GP profit each, which means I think I made almost 50k just on stamina potions. Not bad. There was still a lot of money to be made everywhere. If that was the first day, that would be a 5 mil flip on stamina potions, so I'd be pretty damn happy with that. Alright, so we still haven't had too much luck buying any of the other sigils. I will probably need to price check them. I was just trying to guess the price, which sometimes works and sometimes doesn't, obviously. Well, we do finally have another successful sigil flip. That will be on the sigil of righteous ranger. I think we're getting a 25k margin on every ranger sigil, which is pretty good, and it does seem to be flipping reasonably quickly. I think as the deadman mode tournament progresses, the ranging sigils are going to be more popular, but once people max out their melees, they're probably going to be looking into range or mage, which I think will increase the demand. Now we put an offer in for the maging relic, which appears to be a bit more expensive. We still haven't managed to buy it for 75k. Oh, well, there we go. We ended up buying one for 75k. That took almost half an hour, but we did get it. We're going to shoot for a 25k margin once again. Try not to get too greedy, and I'll go ahead and put another offer in for around 51k each. We're just gonna keep shifting things around until we figure out the precise margin. That could take a little while though. Okay, lots of offers coming through. We have another sale on the Mage and Relic for 25k in profit. Pretty damn good, and I'll definitely go ahead and try to buy more of those. We've been flipping just Rune Scimitars for some reason. We're getting like a 3 or 4k margin on those, which is pretty good considering their high volume. We're still of course flipping lots of the range and relics and still a few high volume items as well. At the end of this, I'm really curious to see which relic ends up being the best. And I'm also insanely curious how much some of these tier 3 relics are going for. I know the 2x experience relic has got to be expensive, it's so strong, as well as the Guardian Angel relic, it's got to be so expensive. It just makes it so you don't lose a life when you die, and you could theoretically go and buy another relic after that, but it's got to be restrictively expensive. And then we have a couple sigils coming through here, more profits on ranging sigils, still getting around a 20k profit. Another one I was going for is the Sigil of Slaughter. I kind of actually thought the Slayer related sigil would be more expensive, but it's actually pretty moderately priced, only around 25k each. So currently on the day we're up to 520k in profit, and we've been flipping for around 2.5 hours, something like that. So we're definitely making much quicker progress than yesterday, and now that we've kind of figured out which relics are working best for us, I think our profit should shoot up more from here. Okay, so we're popping in around an hour later, and we're up to now an 800k profit, and that's mostly off the backs of these tier 1 combat relics. Pretty much on the Mage Relic, the Ranging Relic, and the Melee Relic, we're getting around a 20 to 25k margin per successful flip, and we've just been doing a bunch of those, which means we are already up to 800k on the day, and well over a 1 mil total cash stack. Now I'm just about to hop off for the day, and I'm a bit torn. I think I'm not going to sell my money overnight. I just don't really care about the 28 mil that much, and I'd rather just see a bit what we can get done in the morning before I upload this video. I want to at least try to experiment with a tier 3 relic, see if we can get some solid profit on it. So yeah, we're going to try a few other relics overnight. We're going to try the Sigil of Devotion. That's been working decently for us. We're also looking to buy the Sigil of Preservation overnight for 100k. It's one of the better ones that makes it so your stats don't drain back down from boost, which means it's just a permanent boost. So yeah, we'll leave these offers in overnight and we'll see what happens in the morning, see how much profit we can make. So overnight we ended up buying or selling most of our offers actually. Probably the biggest offer we have here is the Sigil of Preservation. We bought 5 of them for 150k each, and it looks like we're able to sell them for 190. So that's already an 80k profit so far on the item. Plus we have another one to sell for 40k, a really good margin on that one. And that looks like it's actually pushed us over a 1 mil profit, which is pretty damn exciting. Now I said I wanted to try a tier 3 sigil, and probably the one that looks the most successful right now is going to be the Sigil of Last Recall. Currently we're looking at a 70k margin on it, and I expect this has got to be a pretty popular sigil. People really loved it in leagues, so I'm assuming a lot of people are going to want it in deadman mode as well. Okay, so there we go, we sold both of them off already for 690k, which means that is 140k in profit on the tier 3 sigil. That is pretty damn good. Now we're talking. Let's try to go and buy another 2 of them. We'll try for 610 maybe. So we're going to start editing this video pretty soon, so let's just see how much more money we can make within this, well, 24-hour period. Well, there we go. It looks like everything is sold off, so I think this is probably a logical spot to stop. We did get 2 more sales on the Sigil of Last Recall. The margin got cut a bit, but we still ended up getting over 100k in profit combined on those 2. As well as we ended up selling back 4 of the ranging sigils for probably close to 80k in profit. And after claiming everything, we're up to nearly 1.9 mil with around a 1.4 mil profit. So anyway guys, that's pretty much where I'm going to end it for my deadman mode flipping adventures. We could of course go further, but the tournament progresses very quickly and pretty much everything will be devalued almost immediately anyway. That said, let's go take a look at the individual profits on items and see what ended up working best. So on day 2, our most profitable item was actually the Sigil of Rigorous Ranger. Following that was the Sigil of Meticulous Mage, and then the Sigil of Deft Strikes. Even though the margins on those were not as good as other ones I've done, they were some of the highest volume items. The only real tier 3 relic we ended up flipping was the Sigil of Last Recall, and while it did have a pretty good margin, We only managed to do 4 of those. Also, we got a surprising amount of money on the rune scimitar and stamina potions still. So in the end, flipping on deadman mode can be very profitable, but probably your best bet is just to do it on the first day and cash out if that's what you're trying to do. I think if I had logged on right as the tournament started, ran through with 3 or 4 alts, traded out the money onto one flipping account, we could have made out very well by the end of the first day. So maybe for the next tournament, I'll try that. I'll wake up at 3 AM and see what we can get done. Either way though, I had a ton of fun doing this. Thanks for watching guys as always, and I'll see you next time. Now before I go here, I want to give a massive thank you to all of my members over on YouTube. Thank you so much to Guy Fox, Wolf of the Hunt, Timothy Chen, Ocelot, and Kush Patel for all being subscribed at the Dragon tier. Always appreciate you guys. Thanks again so much. Also a giant thank you to CJ Ruse, Mexos, Bratton Graffin, NDM1, Yo-Yo Sub 89, and Base Titch for all being subscribed at the Runite tier. Again, means a lot guys, always appreciate it. And of course, thank you to anyone else supporting me in one way or another. As always, if you guys are looking for another way to support the channel, becoming a YouTube member is a great way to do so. You can become immortalized in all of my future videos, get access to my video release schedule, and of course, get a custom role in my Discord server. Thanks again guys, and I will see you next time.